Hello everybody, my name is Edwin and you are watching Clean 8-Bits. Now, as you guys know, Nvidia just released their new graphics cards, the new RTX 3080, which everybody seems to be going crazy about. Now, on today's video, we are going to go over on how to clean this MSI GTX 980. I know that the new RTX 380 is going to way outperform this baby right here. However, just so you know that this graphics card right here has no problems rendering any games at 1080p at 60 frames per second. So if you only play at 60 frames per second in a 1080p monitor, this card here is way more than sufficient for you to play any games on it. Now, I bought this card back in September of 2014. And it's still going strong, it's still going pretty good. This is currently being used on my wife's computer and she has no problem playing games on it. But anyways, enough about the card and let's get on the cleaning process. Now, I believe I have cleaned these cards a few times since I bought it. However, I have never done like a deep cleaning of the card itself. Now, I recommend that you do clean your graphics card at least once a year. If you do own this card, then you are in for a treat because I am going to show you how to take off this cover here and this fans, and so that we can get under there and have a better cleanup. So here are the things we are going to use in today's video. The first one being a brush. Any kind of brush will do. The second thing we are going to use are these swabs that I have talked about on my previous videos. Now I got this ones off Amazon and I'm going to put a link below if you want to get them. They're really cheap and they're really good because they do not leave any residue. And if you notice, this one has a pointy end and this is really excellent to get on crevices that are very hard to reach. Now we are also going to be using an iFixit kit. And this is just so that we can use the screwdriver that comes in this kit. You don't really need to have the whole kit. You don't even need to have an iFixit screwdriver. Any small screwdriver will do. Today we are going to be using this one with a relatively small Phillips bit so that we can take apart the cover of the graphics card and also the fans. Now, I really love the screwdriver from iFixit. I like how it has this thing right here, the stopper that you can hold while you're screwing things, and it also spins. So you can spin this independently from the screwdriver. So that is really good. That really helps out when you're screwing and unscrewing things. So we're going to be using this. I recommend that you have a rag or a microfiber towel handy so that you can clean up after all the dust that's going to be flying off. Also that you can clean the big surfaces with this. We are also going to be using this end dust for electronics. And it's pretty much just an air can. We are going to be using it. So the first thing I want to do is clean the back of the graphics card. All of this area right here. Now this model of the 980 does not have a back plate, so all of the electronics and soldering is exposed back here. So be very careful not to be very harsh on this area here and not to bump it into any hard surfaces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the brush and I'm going to lightly go over all of this area here. So I'm going to hold it with one hand and we are going to try to get most of the dust off the graphics card. You'll always collect dust because this is what sits on top. So like sits flat like this inside your computer. So all of the dust particles fall on top of it. I just picked up this brush, I believe at Target for like a few bucks. You should have no problem finding one of these brushes on the makeup section of any store. Now that we have cleaned this surface with a brush, it feels actually already clean to the touch. So I believe that's all I'm going to do in this area. Now, this mouse pad I also bought off Amazon is really huge. You cannot see it on the video, but it extends farther out. I'm going to put a link on the description of this video in case you're interested. It's a really good mat. I think I have it for like at least 5 months now. And I like it because I can put my keyboard, have my mouse, and also my cup of coffee on the other side. And I usually wash it as well, so I don't mind some of the dust still remaining on it. I wash it often so that it doesn't have any of that nasty buildup. Going back to the graphics card, what we're going to do is also brush off these areas here where dust might be building up, or the back area where all of the I/O ports sit here on the PCI connector. Back here. And this thing is looking pretty sweet. Now what we want to do is take off this plastic cover here. Now, if you really pay attention, under the fans, there's going to be some sets of screws. That one right there being the first one. There's going to be one here at the bottom. So there's one on top and one at the bottom. And then on this side, it's going to be the same thing. So we're going to remove those 4 screws. This one here too. Now I'm curious to know what kind of games do you guys play, and what kind of frames per second, or even what kind of graphics cards do you guys have, and if you find the graphics cards that you guys have not sufficient enough for the games that you're playing. And also to be interested if you guys own this graphics card and what you guys think about it. So now what you want to do is push the fan. It's gonna be kind of tricky. You just don't want to, you cannot just pull it off. What you want to do is kind of fiddle with it a little. So what you want to work on is on the bottom parts, this one and this one. You want to make sure that it kind of aligns between the gaps of the fans, both of them. So you just move the fan around until you find that sweet spot where the fan, when the thing can be on the bottom of the fan, like that. And then you also want to do it here. Once you get those 2 out, you just kind of slip it up and away. Now be gentle because there's a connector here, right there. And I don't want to unplug that because it looks like kind of a pain in the ass, if I'm honest with you, to get that unplugged from there. And I'm just gonna put it like so. All right, so now we have the cover off, and we can see that the cover is very filthy. There's like so much dust under here because I had never taken this off. So tons of dust. We're gonna grab our brush and clean this dust off. Oof, there's dust flying everywhere. And most of the dust is off this area here. I am gonna blow it with the air can. We're gonna actually use alcohol, making sure that it's not too soaked with alcohol. I don't want to waste alcohol right now. All right, put that in there. And then we're gonna go around this. All right, so we're gonna go like this, like that. If you notice on the top area now that we have removed it from the fans, there's gonna be these crevices that now we have access to that are gonna be pretty dusty. All right, so you can see that the swab is looking pretty filthy already just by going around this ring here. Now, I used to have this graphics card on my computer, and my wife used to have the GTX 660, I believe. So a very old graphics card. So when I made my new build, I gave her pretty much my computer to her, and that's how she ended up with this graphics card. I had no problem with this graphics card at all. I was playing 1080p, and I was also streaming at the same time on a 1080p monitor. I had no problem. The problem started happening once I upgraded my monitor to an ultra wide, to a 3440 by 1440p monitor. That's when this card really started to struggle, and I decided that it was time to upgrade to something else. So what I have now on my computer is the GTX 1080 Ti. So stay tuned for an upcoming cleaning video of that puppy. All right, so this looks pretty clean. Now we are going to remove these 2 fans. There are 3 screws for each fan that they are located here, here, and somewhere here. Just make sure that your screwdriver fits there like this one does. And then let's take those 3 screws away. Now these 3 screws are a little shorter than the previous one we took out. So that's how you're gonna know that they're different in case you do mix them up. I'm curious if you guys are gonna be upgrading to the 3080, the RTX 3080, or if you guys are gonna just keep rocking whatever graphics cards you guys have. Oh, check it out. We took out this fan out, and holy moly, you can see that it is pretty filthy back here under the fan. It's like super dusty. But anyways, I am not going to upgrade, I'll be honest with you guys. Lately I haven't even been doing that much gaming, so I don't see the point of me upgrading to a new graphics card when the one I have is just working fine for me. Now that we have the fans just kind of hanging here, just be careful not to break any of the fins. All right, so I went ahead and I soaked this rag. So now it's just damp, and we are going to start cleaning under the fan as much as we can, of course. And right away, you can see how filthy that is. These fans have been doing a lot of work during these years. 6 years in service and still going strong. That could be an advertisement for any type of company. Or for a Viagra user. I wish I could unplug the fan off here, but it's a whole cord that goes all around. Let me see just how hard that would be. It actually doesn't look too hard. Let me try it out. Nah, you know what? I'm not gonna mess with that. I'm just gonna put it back in. I mean, that will give me a little bit more room, I guess. We are gonna continue with this one. All right, so now that we have cleaned most of the surfaces of the bottom, we're gonna use our swab to get onto the areas that we haven't been able to get to. Guys, just look at this, man. It's so dirty. It's like black already from all of the dust. Super nasty. Now we are going to blow this. We want to blow from here and going out there. There's going to be a lot of dust probably flying off. So if you have a mask, which I'm pretty sure here in 2020 you do, I recommend that you put it on. Want to blow from back here. You want to also blow here. All right, that looks pretty clean and a lot of dust flew off. Okay, now that all of that has been done, we are going to put this sucker back. We just gotta make sure that we align this cable back in like so in that loop. Now what I really love about this screwdriver is that it's magnetic, so you get to hold the screws in there like I am doing right now and not lose them. Okay, this fan is now secure. We're gonna do the same one with the next. How many of you guys are playing on a 4K monitor? I don't even have a 4K monitor. I do have the 3440 by 1440 ultra wide monitor. I have the Alienware that goes up to 120 Hertz refresh rate. I feel like that is plenty. I don't think I'll ever play on a 4K monitor, at least not anytime soon. Actually, my wife has a 4K monitor. She doesn't play in 4K. She doesn't use it as a primary driver, but she uses that as a secondary, and she plays on the 1080p monitor that she also has. All right, so now we're gonna put this plastic cover back in. So we're gonna start in reverse. We're gonna try to get the this top flaps, I guess, I don't know, under the fan. And then we are gonna fiddle with the little ones under the fan like that. Once you start doing it, you're gonna realize how easy it is. And we are going to screw it back in. The reason you wanna clean the graphics card often is because if dust starts building in between the aluminum fins of the heatsink, then the heatsink is not going to have a lot of surface for air to flow through it, and so the cooling is going to be reduced. So just make sure you keep them clean. All right, guys, there you have it, a clean MSI GTX 980, and it's good to go. Now this, I have to just pop it back into my wife's computer. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. If you liked it, please don't forget to like. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe. Yes, please subscribe. I really appreciate all the comments that some of you have been leaving on my videos. Have a good one, take care, and I'll see you guys on the next one.